You know why? Cause I'm a criminal! Criminal! You goddamn right!
Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Two Shot Factor. Price increases on groceries in BC. Oh wait, that's not supposed to smile for that? For a family of four, the total bill is expected to be $16,288, $1,065 more than the previous year.
Hey buddy, you want some macaroni?
The living wage for people to meet basic expectations in Metro Vancouver has reached an all-time high according to the CCPA. The choices now on where to cut back have become the most difficult.
Aspirin, price?
$3.40.
Oh, please.
Do you even know what CCPA stands for? The CCPA had a much different meaning when I was young. The Central Communist Party Association. People were tough back then, not like nowadays, sitting in their ivory towers, raising prices so they can get more ivory. Last year, the living wage for Metro Vancouver was $20.52 per hour. This year, it's all the way up to $24.08. Minimum wage is, I think, $15.65 across BC. Elysium, anyone?
Confusing to me. Oh, that's so good.
In 2021, Canada's Food Price Report, an annual publication by Canadian researchers that looks at factors across the supply chain to estimate what the cost of putting food on the table will be. Wait a minute, do we even still eat at the table?
Do you guys want some pierogies?
Estimated that food prices would rise by 5 to 7% in 2022. Rick Barrichello, a professor at UBC, said food price inflation exceeded expectations, as in BC it rose by 9.2%. For certain generations, it's the first time they've had to make a list. Not impulse buy, read the flyers, use coupons, buy in volume, and freeze what they don't use.
Brought to you by Miracle Whip.
What you eating?
Tuna salad. I made it with Miracle Whip instead of mayonnaise.
It's not mayonnaise, but people in Florida still believe in it.
Technically, I don't think this is mayonnaise.
But close, right?
This is Mike McGrattan, and he's here to talk to us about the rising cost of food prices in BC. What do you have to say about the rising cost of grocery prices, Mike?
I don't know. I was in a superstore the other day, and everything seemed so expensive. I was trying to get it, and my money goes really fast. The cookies. I went to get a thing of cookies. The PC cookies are up to $4 for the PC cookies. They used to be only $2 for a bag. So I can say.
Yeah, the PC cookies. What other kinds of foods were you struggling to get? I myself can't even afford to get Sidekick noodles anymore. It's ridiculous.
The Singapore curry noodle flavor. What the hell happened to that? They took it away. Was it unhealthy?
Let's take a look at the prices in paper bags that everyone loves to carry their groceries in so much. Plastic bags are banned in Vancouver because Vancouver's gay. Gay. We're gay. And paper bags cost 25 cents. Let's take a look at some comments, Carlos.
Comments. Do we even care about the post? Hell no. It's all about the comments.
Get into your comments while eating cornflakes.
Yo, hey you, did you see my comment? Yo, buddy guy, do you like my comment?
Derek.
Hello, is this Hondo Bob?
Yeah, you got Hondo Bob.
All right, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Hondo Bob, he'll be stepping in today as our food expert for Dr. Chan, who is in the hospital from drinking and driving.
Yeah, that Dr. Shan, he gets up to some good times.
Let's take a look at our first comment here. Abel M. Veda.
These on paper bags are outrageous. They also serve as a great big middle finger to anyone struggling to make ends meet.
How does it? Yeah.
They kind of do. It's no big deal to somebody that's got a stack of cash.
We got people like Mikey, who we had on our show earlier. This guy's struggling to buy, a box of cookies. How do you think he's going to survive having to pay for the extra bag on top of that? Now, of course,
He carry his cookies home anymore.
He can't even carry his cookies home anymore. You heard it there.
Can't even carry his cookies home anymore.
Yo, this is how we buy Mr. Noodles in Vent City. You buy these by the flat. If you can't handle that many noodles, then you're a bitch. Your ass gets capped and we steal your silverware.
Maybe grab some other flavors.
Eventually, when you're ready to become a man, you have to take 48 packs of Mr. Noodles and paddle your dumb, fat ass out to the sea. When the breeze comes, you eat your last pack, and then you die like a bitch.
Watch out, watch out. Thank you. I went to a noodle farm once, where Mr. Noodles actually grow on trees.
I just wanna eat some noodles with you. Baby, if there's one thing I can ask
That is amazing. Grocery prices have been rising at the fastest pace in decades, faster than the overall rate of inflation for the past 11, maybe 12, maybe 13 months, depending on whenever this video is made. There are multiple factors which could influence the food prices, such as climate change. God, not this again.
We didn't listen!
There was so much snow in 2008.
We got Ranroon here. A lot of weird names. Let me just look at some of these names here. We got Maruru. We got Ranroon. We got David Bloom. What kind of bag would I need to bring for fries or nuggets? Can't just toss an open pack of greasy fruit into my shopping bags. Or a pizza slice. A shop charged me 25 cents for a very thin food sleeve. The ones that are commonly used for muffins or bagels. How is that fair?
Yeah, it's completely unfair. Like, you know, I grew up in a different country, actually, and like...
Wait a minute. What country did you grow up in? Were you in Islamabad? Or Pakistan?
A little bit of both.
Okay. But weren't you born in England? I heard you were from England.
There too, and Antarctica.
Okay.
Maruru, Ranrun, David Bloom.
Currency fluctuations also play a part. Earlier, last year, the loonie was worth 80 cents US. Then, in October, it dropped to 72.17. If we gotta get our lettuce from Salinas, California again, the BLT sandwich will simply not be an option. Also, let's take a look at how deals on multiple items have changed. For this one, it gets a little personal. I used to buy a lot of Sidekick noodles. I used to practically live off of them. I used to get them for 4 for $5 on a fairly regular basis. The 1 for 1 deal was pretty much every month or two. And by about mid-pandemic, 21-ish, 4 for $5 was about the best deal you were ever gonna get. By 2022, 4 for $6 was the regular, and you never seemed to get any deals. By late 2022, 4 for $7 became the regular. I mean, it's just like, you know, rice now.
So we don't have enough rice for you, kid.
We're doing a video about rising food prices, and as a bit of a group project, we're going to pass around a friendly Progie.
Howdy ho, hungry friends.
When you have Mr. Progie, it's your turn to share with the group a food that was once very special to you, but you can no longer afford. How do we know it's Mr. Progie? Because women don't like to be passed around in groups.
That's what she said.
Lettuce.
Eggs. I eat beef ribs and lobster. I eat expensive food. I'm used to expensive food, but I get a lot of free food from events I get invited.
What the hell was that for?
For lying to me. I hate liars.
Now, often we think about what we, people, eat. But what we may not be thinking about is Donatello, the cat, otherwise known as his short name, Donnie. Donnie's food prices have risen too. And he's a big cat. He needs a lot of food. Look how happy he is when he eats. Do you really want to see a sad Donnie? Do the right thing and lower the cost of food prices in BC. Yo, man, where's my cereal?
Eventually, we will be forced to buy our cereal from street dealers.
Under the Food Delivery Service Fee Act, the fees which delivery companies can charge BC restaurants can't exceed 20% of the food's total value. So all you lazy alcoholics sitting around ordering pizza don't have to worry about rising prices. For a while. Maybe. The province first introduced a temporary food delivery cap in 2020 when pandemic restrictions forced restaurants to rely on takeout orders, and the delivery fees were as high as 30%. The 15% cap on food plus 5% for additional fees was extended twice last year and set to expire on December 31st.
Derek Two Shot pretends to be smart by reading stuff straight from Google.
Sylvain Charlebois, Dalhousie University's director of the Agri-Foods Analytics Lab, said, "In order to see wholesale discounts, you really need to see lower prices for an extended period of time."
Oh geez, what do we got here? It's coconut and lemongrass rice from Western Family. Oh, that seems delightful. 2 for $5. That sounds, well, a little expensive if you think about it, because, oh, see the card price, you get all kinds of special things. You pay more, but you make the investment. See, that's what people don't look at. The air frequent flyer miles. You can fly all over the place. Why didn't the Jew want to blow up the plane? Because he needed the miles.
Hello?
Hello, is this Clayton?
Yeah, might be.
Well, we're on the Two Shot Factor doing a rising food price report. We're wondering if you might have some time to talk about how this has affected you.
Macaroni's doubled. I can't even buy a hamburger anymore. I got the imitation hamburger.
The food prices, they're horrible. Like, haven't you ever seen, like, some of the cookies and the pastas are just ridiculous?
They are terrible.
Well, that was our good friend Clayton on the phone, and as you can see according to our file photo, he's Amish. Hopefully, he's going to that paradise soon. Old Dutch potato chips and tortilla chips sell large bags, 2 for $6. For years, they had been 4 for $10 until last summer. Now, with the 2 for $6, many people will simply buy less chips. So it begs the question, how does Old Dutch and its cronies still profit and have hungry couch potatoes buying enough chips to make up that lost ground? We talked to a scientist about this. Carlos?
Chip.
Genius. Let's take a look at single people for a moment here. A single woman will pay about $3,740 for groceries, where a man will pay $4,168. Now, I had to do some calculations to apply to my spending because I moved last May to a place that was more than double the rent. My estimates have me at $3,600 annually, although I always stick to deals, and of course I always remember to buy Mr. Noodles. For families who are trapped in low-income situations, they may have no choice but to either fall into a life of prostitution or simply hire Randy to go hooking for cheeseburgers.
Sure, I've prostituted for cheeseburgers before. I've watched Fear Factor, made YouTube videos, and yeah, like most people, I've dealt a little ivory before. I've never dealt with ivory. But look, I own this.
The last year had inflation levels we hadn't seen in years. The new year, this one, we can expect to see some of those levels even out, even decrease, with food prices not being one of them. Maybe someone just needs to take an M577 armored personnel carrier and occasionally ram into supermarkets and do a little looting. Carlos.
Rick, what the hell are you doing?
Sometimes I just carry my groceries in my arms from Walmart to Dollarama, and then I ask them for a bag. They've got plastic ones, they just give them to you. You know, like 1 or 2.
That's a pretty legit statement. I used to live in Vancouver, and it was hard to make ends meet as a tradesman.
What kind of trade? No, what kind of trade were you in?
I was a plumber.
Okay, plumber. That's a good trade. Now, is it true that you may have done a small amount of male prostitution for cheeseburgers?
Small amount, yeah.
If you were doing male prostitution for cheeseburgers, would there be an incentive or a perk and like some kind of bonuses where you also could get those bags for free? Like at the end of a good night, you don't only get a cheeseburger, but you get a paper bag to go with it. That would be fair.
That was more than fair.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect if you did well, you could rob out a bag, you know?
I remember when I was younger, I used to have food and I didn't even have to pay for it. Now,
I had to spend hundreds of dollars a month for my disability check. My disability? I have anxiety. And if we look here, we can clearly see real people coping with their anxiety by using Buddha Box, a medically prescribed box on your head designed to shield out the horrors and responsibilities of the world. And I can't even have that. I'm the real victim here. So this could be like the 7th inning stretch, and the end of it is possibly near. Well, we hope you learn much on the two-shot factor. Until next time, make sure to keep eating Mr. Noodles. You will survive longer that way, I promise you. Just throw in a couple onions or something.
Look at this, $129 for this thing that doesn't even talk or you eat. And it doesn't get you drunk.
Do you want me to buy it tomorrow?
Yeah, maybe, but we need to talk just a little more about food prices. What are some other things you were struggling to buy? Tell us about some of the pains that you're going through.
Well, meat's getting expensive too.
Yes, meat.
For the meat.
This is maruru. Tell us what you think about maruru.
I'm quite sure that we're all paying for the COVID reimbursement money they gave us, but that doesn't solve the whole mystery here. Like, where's my monkeypox money? And where the hell is Donald Trump with Space Force?
And is it true that the penguins, even though they are your friends, it's either them or you? You're gonna have to eat at least one baby penguin a year to make it through.
At least one baby penguin.
Tell us about the penguins.
If you don't get one baby penguin, you're not a lucky man.
Okay.
They smell real bad.
Oh yeah?
That's the thing I remember about the penguins. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Then there's the whole deal with Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben's having to change their names. They even experimented with the cream of wheat. On Sunday, what Sunday? I don't know, one of the last Sundays. Oh shit! Okay, pause. Shit.
I don't really know how to respond to that.
Well, what exactly is a coffee goblin for starters?
The food price report in BC.
Not really, no.
Hasn't affected you?
Just driving home from work, but...
Okay, next one, we got Hamish B. This is very annoying for takeout that sometimes spills into the bag. I don't want to use my reusable bags. The guy's got French fries, he's got Coca-Cola, and he's got sundaes all over the place. When he takes his cookies out of the bag, the box is messy. You got fruit flies everywhere. I mean, the guy starts off living in Vancouver. By the time he gets home, he's living in East Detroit. It's a bad trade-off.
You know, they put it in place for environmental reasons to try to make people think of like how many bags they are using and all that.
No. This is not environmental Hondo de Bobo. This is talking about a simple money scam. They're trying to just make it like it's environment. You got poor countries like Africa and Detroit.
No, check this out though. Check this out. So they're gonna say that it's for environmental reasons.
Oh, okay.
So if you talk to them about it, that's what it is. But like, personally, I go to the store, you look around, there's not even plastic bags anymore to buy in a lot of the stores. So you have to buy like the reusable one. You buy that for like $1.05, and then you go home, you pack away your groceries, blaze a mound. Forget that you even owned this thing in the first place. You got like 40 in the drawer. You could have brought one of those, but you forgot you owned those as well.
That's right.
And then you go back to the store and you buy another reusable bag for $1.05 that took way more resources to make in the first place than this.
All right, well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for your time there, Blobo. What was your name again?